The San Francisco Giants were tied for the worst mark in baseball with 64 wins last season, so fans will be excused if bringing back the starting pitching staff doesn't get them excited. The good news is that Johnny Cueto, whose decision not to opt out of his contract means he is signed for the next 4 seasons of $21 million per, is worth that money. His 2017 season was terrible, but he was the most consistent starter in baseball over the previous 6-year period, going 82-43 with a 2.73 ERA. The money is big, but fans should be reminded not their money, and it's less than guys like Rick Porcello and James Shields will be making. Madison Bumgarner's option was a no-brainer too. His $12 million salary is a bargain, if he is any good at all. In the bad news column, Moore and Pablo Sandoval are also back. Even the most stalwart Giants fan must be sick of watching the same players fail, and these two have made failure into a science. Moore was one of the worst starters in baseball last season, and Panda's last good season was in his previous Giants life. Both managed to finish last season with a negative WAR. The money committed to Moore and Sandoval isn't problematic, but the messaging here is unpleasant at best. If the Giants' franchise building has had a consistent flaw, it is their tendency to stick with their own struggling players rather than spend on replacements. Running it back with Moore, much less Sandoval, seems to lean into this flaw rather than away from it. The real test for San Francisco's offseason will come with free agency, when we see whether they actually open up the checkbook to fill some of the massive holes on their roster. If they invest in another starter and a legitimate power bat for the outfield, nobody will bother worrying about what Pablo Sandoval and Moore will do. Executive Vice President Brian Sabean said in a conference call on Monday that the team's top 3 priorities are a center fielder, with Denard Span moving to left, as well as help in the bullpen, and at third base. The call was intended to announce the hirings of pitching coach Curt Young and hitting coach Alonzo Powell.